Good afternoon and thank you all for finding time to join this webinar. My name is Moaz Hussain, CEO Team 2020. Our team is an emerging student welfare association focused to help engineering professionals for their betterment and success. Now we are having our CMD Mr. Naga Surya K and IT cell coordinator Mr. Jawahar P. Hope everybody can hear me. So if you can't, then you can text it on the message section. Great. Our topic for today is Shape Your Career, and the speakers are Mr. A. Vivekanandhan and Mr. Vijay Chinnasamy sir. There will be a first session by Vivekananda sir, and after that the second session will be taken over by Vijay Chinnasamy. Before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, just write the question in the chat box. Our panel members will confirm you by texting your name that whether you can ask right now or you have to wait for the final question answer session. And if your question is confirmed by the panel member that okay, you can ask your question, then you can unmute yourself and you should ask your question. And we will have short breaks during the presentation for answering your question and a final question and answer session at the end of each session. We will send you all relevant links after the event, including YouTube link of the webinar recording and all, whatever it is required. So now we can begin. So today's first speaker is Mr. A. Vivekananda, retired air veteran, Indian Air Force. Currently a faculty of Aeronautical Department in Excel Engineering College. He had spent years in building great engineers, and many of his students are now working in reputed industries at highest positions. He has dedicated his part of life in serving the nation and the other for molding young minds. Please, Vivekananda sir, you can present now.
Good afternoon, one and all present, my dear students and the faculty members and the audience members. I am terribly sorry for the delay because of some technical connectivity. And first of all, I thank Mr. Naga and Moaz Hussain who has taken this venture for the students' benefits. And I have been really privileged to be the speaker. Even I felt I have been overrated, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever that thing, our task given by the students, I have to undertake it with pleasure, and it is my really a duty for me. So I have to justify their request. So I am really privileged for that. Thanks once again for that. This is the preparations of this is made on that some experience by me, as well as whatever I have felt in the departments and the colleges. And as the foreign nation coordinator, I have visited many countries. So on that basis, the student requirement and what is the engineering scenario now. So I have prepared it. So I have divided this into 3 areas. Next slide. Yeah. So first of all, we should know what is education. Then we divided this into engineering studies. So engineers focus for the future. That's what I have divided into 3 sessions. So next when we see it, what is the base of education? Next slide, please. Yeah. So we have our mate, like Kural says, Ennenba yenai eluthenba ivirandum pannenba vaalum uyirku. So that means the numbers and the letters are the base of education. You can go for the next slide. So the numbers have been developed into arithmetic to engineering studies, engineering mathematics. So the letters form the words, sentences, which explains the philosophy and science of various information. So the numbers and the letters are the eyes of the people to explore the universe. Etymologically, when you see, the education is derived from the word edushir. So it means bringing up, which is related to edushir, which means bringing out. So bring forth what within whatever, within you, whatever we are bringing it. So that's what a teacher does it. So the bringing out the potential, that's what we are doing it actually. So then the dushir, these are all the Latin words, from there we have taken it. So it means to lead. You can go for the next slide. So it's for the to lead. So when you want to make it education, what is the act of experience? So that's what which affects on the mind. The character and the physical ability of the individual have been shaped by the educations. So in its technical sense, when you say the society deliberately inputs their accumulated knowledge to us, that's what it is. So that means generally when that old generations gives their knowledge to the next generations give to another. That's what we are doing it. That is called an education. So it is further defined, develop the knowledge, skill and character. The character is very important, which determines how he has been going to be in their total life. The gain of necessary knowledge and skills provide, definitely if you gain knowledge and other things, definitely you will be having a social status, a position in the society. So kindly go for next slide. Yes, basically that engineering studies, we have in the first year. When you see in the first year, you are seeing some languages and the basic science fundamentals, which is on that basis only you go to this next, the departmental conceptual studies. So if this has been made in the strengthened, and if you have been focused on this, actually the people are not knowing what is the objective of the subject, why they are studying these subjects. So once this has been developed in this better manner, so that will be useful for them to further develop their knowledge. So the second year we are going for the basic conceptuals. So for that, particularly for the department concepts. So this is the phase where lot of examinations based on. So if you want to have a better job, so this is the area you have to concentrate more. You have to concentrate more on the second year portions, that is third semester and fourth sem poster, especially for the engineers and all other. So then the third year when you come, you are having your electives, managerial studies, and not only that, you are having your most important major conceptual subjects also be available in that. So this is then we, on this basis only we are going to develop in the project. Project, really speaking, the people have to go for the latest requirement, and before this, so we have to move on to the various type of trainings and languages, other trainings, like you have to go for the factories and other workshops. You have to attend various we call all other, you got to context with very people and connecting with the various scientists, all other things you have to do it within these 3 years. On that basis only you will be selecting your project. The selection of project is the one. So when before the selection of project, in that first semester, first year, second year, third year, your laboratory, definitely you have to use your laboratory. And laboratory is not only for conducting the experiments or getting your marks. So you have to make those experiments into the product. So whenever normally I used to emphasize on that lab to product concepts. So that on that basis only you have to select your project. That project has to be, yes, evaluated socially, economically, and all those concepts you have to take into your mind. So what will be this project? On that project, where I will be getting, so that future developments in that project, everything has to be, you have to calculate it, you have to estimate it. That project is the only thing which is going to identify you, you are so and so. So that phase, that's what engineering studies are very important when you are selecting your project. Okay, so kindly make sure that your projects are have been worth. For that you have to make and put every aspect, whatever you have learned in your laboratories, all you have to put it into practice to get your model. So to get your models, you have to learn a lot of softwares and all other things. So we will be seeing one and other in the forthcoming slides. So kindly go for the next. Yes. So the requirement for the best learning. So what is the best learning requirement when you say? So our, first of all, we have a lot of problems and other things. So what is the first problem is organizational. So that organization culture has to be changed. So that organization has to change the cultures. The second point is research effective assessment practices has to be made. The third one is, so you have to be that promote the research based practices, the faculty should be adopted that one. So that the fourth one, when you make the faculty development, so once the faculties are development, so that I will be improving the learning part and the teaching learning process. So then for the better learning, these are all the process has to be followed individually. So the next slide, please. When you see the engineers, they are stressed much. So how the stress, this one is, the first one, foremost thing, that aimless. So they don't have any goal set within them. So they have to make that, yes, I want to be like this, I want to become like this. There is no, this one aim for them. So that has to be focused. If that makes it, so that aim has been, yes, normally as Dr. APJ says, so your dream should not allow you to sleep. Okay, that's type of aim you should have. So that next, normally people worried about the unemployment scenario. So then family problems, the study material, yes, definitely. Then counseling and guidance. So sometimes people are not getting proper guidance and counseling, or the people are not interested to get the counselings. So that's what normally make. So the second category is the 80% of the students. So the 20% of the students, they come for the counseling and guidance. Yes, it's fine. They are making it. So then when you say that causes of stress, lack in proficiency in English, that fluency, talking. So they are fear about the, yes, whenever we say, you know, their language, I can't do. Whenever you call into the dais and explain something, people are hesitate to commit. So the second one is making oral presentation. That also they are having problems. That next one is fear of failures in examinations. That is the one. So I feared, I am failing it. That high family expectation. The family is expecting, yes, my son will be like this, my daughter will be like this. So these are all the stress making it. So you have to overcome all these things. So you have to plan accordingly. So the year-wise planning has to be made. So the people should know the objective of the studies, objective of the individual subject, why they are studying that subject. So what they are going to gain on that subject. So it is not only for the mark, it is, you have to gain the knowledge. Okay, the knowledge only the base. Okay, so with the knowledge only, technology will be moving. Technology, knowledge is the motive force for the technology. So you can go for the next slide. Yeah, engineering studies, challenges and the strengthening the engineering educations. The engineering educations need to be interdisciplinary with new technology courses at the core. So that means interdisciplinary. You cannot be within confined to it one area. So you have to be the interdisciplinary actions. That more than 10,000 colleges produce 15 lakhs of engineers graduates every year. So you are having the mass in number, but employability and your capability for the employability is very, very low. So the substandard institutions, low quality engineering college. So then you don't have any that is landmark for admissions. So you have MBBS, you have to pass compulsorily something, but in the colleges, so it is very poor. So it gives very low profiled inputs. So we cannot say about that one. So because all have to get chance, equal chance to learn it. So after coming this one, again, that should not affect them in their future. So they have to little bit take pain to come over all this this one. So generally, basically that traditional branches like mechanical, civil, and your electronics stand alone. They cannot provide any employable opportunities much. So anyhow, they can have with another this one. So you have to cross all those this one. So interdisciplinary boundaries has to be crossed by the students. Kindly next is. So what is that curriculum? The curriculum also, it is really a problem area for the engineering people. So we are having maximum basics in that. Yes, definitely basics are the real requirement, but the gap between the engineering academic courses and the industrial requirement is far off. So they are, it is long gap. So it has to be reduced. The gap has to be reduced. So the advanced knowledge in the instrumentation, communications, the computational capabilities, so creates the possible opportunity. In the last webinar I have attended, the question was there. So what is the future of a mechanical engineer? They very simply said, a mechanical engineer with the minimum programming knowledge will be surviving. So that means definitely that's what they say, interdisciplinary other thing. The wall between the scientific disciplines and the engineering to be dismantled. So there is a in between what is scientific disciplines. So that has to come inside. So we have to mingle with all other technology, creating new paradigm shift. So if at all this done, definitely the engineering will be continuing the desirable career for the students. So definitely challenges, these prospects, definitely this has to be looked into in a vital area. So we will see definitely the challenges has to be overcome. Then we will go into the prospects of that area. Next slide. Yes. So you cannot say the students have been poor or they have fallen short. The engineering education has not cope up with, it is not a time, it is time to time, the development is not there much in the studies. So that is what makes the different, as we are in the fast moving engineering world. So you have to be trained to manage variable complexities and uncertainties in the modern world. So practical solutions to work on to be explored by the students, so that they meet the needs of the present. So the present required, so that engineers, the companies are very picky nowadays. So they cannot take everybody then. So they want something, yes, they are not only interested in the engineering graduates. So what is the knowledge, skill, ability they are possessing, that only makes the way for their life. The education system must be pushed towards a high level of capability. So this system, more globally competitive, high-end engineers has to be produced by the education area. So India will be definitely a globally high-tech marketplace if these have been materialized. Next slide, please. Yes. So this project-based learnings, the project-based learnings really definitely this has to be made. It's a real requirement for the modern students. The education system must be high level capability. So that's what. So competitive engineers you want, you will be having all this quality, and you have to be there. Your connectivity, whatever this one, this and research area. Okay, everything has to be met by the students. Then only they can survive in this future. So the future will be better for them. Next slide, please. Engineering studies. So the government supports. So the government supports. We have a lot of governmental organizations supports for you, so that you can be having the financial support from them, and you can go for your research and other areas. So I have given the list of whatever the funds have been given by various organizations. The list have been given this one. So you can go through this list, that is AICT, CSIR, Ayush, DPT, DST, TIFAC, and ICMR, Gujcast, and INSA. So these are all the various funding agencies for you people, so you can be there. So if you want to be in the future race, definitely you have to be in the research areas, because you have to be always given the what is real changing requirement, what is the audience or your customer's choice. So you have to be a customer's choice. So then only you can be survival. Your survival will be also better for that. Please next. Next slide, please. Yes. This is for you. You have to be focused for this. So if you want to be the future race, you have to focus on various things. So well trained. So you have to be trained. So you have to go for a lot of technology development programs, simulation techniques, data caption, data reductions. So these are all the real requirement of this one. So you have to go beyond imaginations. The changings are happening. So you have to match with that. So you are not running. You are not traveling inside a train. You are running with the train in the platform. Like that only situation nowadays. So you have to run with the speed of the changing areas. So technology as 3D printing enables prototype. Yes, when you make your projects, so the prototype model have to be developed. So these are the technology the people are really wanting in the companies. So you should know it, how you can make your prototype models. So the models are made very quickly using these technologies. Industry 4.0. So automations, robotics. So you have to know it. You have to know how to program any machines. So that these are all the very much essential. That's what it has been told. Not only that engineering concept or particular your area, and with that you have to go with another supportive knowledge for your future. This one. So that means. So once this have been, so we are, the industry expects, so mass productions, okay, customized in a different product in same production line. In one single production line, they want to make it different type of components. So that's what you have to enable them. So then only you will be with them. So you definitely, if you are making your changes, so change in you for making this your knowledge development. So definitely you will be also in the, your future will be bright. Next slide, please. Engineer's role. what an engineer's role, what you have to do it, analyze the technology, so the various area, you are particularly, if you are having, you have to go in certain area only. So aeronautical, whatever the domain you are belongs to. So sir, you have to make it, analyze the technology, creating a prototype. So replication of the prototype. So you have to develop a prototype in the mass productions. So must practice technology enabled learning at all time. Project based learning, already I have given that one. The skill over technical knowledge. Yes. So definitely technical knowledge and skill both has to be there. So though it is true engineers in the market is unemployable, does not mean the future of the engineering is dark. No, not at all. The corporate is looking for skilled, on-job experienced, can be obtained from internship. We have to go for various internship and other things. So definitely, if that industry and your educational institution has to have a tie-up, so definitely then only. So like Excel Engineering College, they are having a lot of this one. So they provide it. Student must make use of it. So as the branches of engineering is more and more, students needs to ensure that industry ready by the end of the program. So if they want to be there, so they have to reduce the gap between the industrial preparations and the institutional expectations. Industry expectations. The industry expectations are far ahead of the institutional preparations. The gap has to be reduced by individual effort of the student ones. So I said already this point have been given when I came in that one. Lab to product. Yes, the experience of the experiments has to be developed into product. Will increase the confidence in the working. Quality has to be maintained rather than the quantity. So you have to make it, it is a mandatory requirement to be a quality engineer. So you have to be a quality engineer so that the future will be bright. Next slide, please. So in this around whatever the slides I have focused, this I have been prepared on my experience and what I am facing, what the students are facing in and around me. So on that basis only I have developed, and some of the codes and other things we have brought from the other people's experience also have been taken into account. So by this, so what is education? The significance of education have been discussed in the webinar, and we have discussed about what is the problem in what is the education problems. The rural students, what is they are facing when they are getting admissions in the college. So that language problems, engineering hope, definitely engineering is a better hope. So there will be a problem. So the remedy also there. So you have to take up the remedy for you. Then only you will be surviving it to the future requirements. Focus on the definitely if you the focused on that so that what is the required for the company area. So definitely you will be in the race. So when I talk about the rural problem of the rural students problem, yes, whenever they come, they do not know, no idea of that one. So lot of suggestions have been given in these various language classes and other things. Even whenever we dictate some of the words, particularly for the different branches, they are not knowing it, how to spell it, how to, what is the spell for that one, how to pronounce it. These are all the things. So we provide a lot of English coaching classes and the laboratories that has to be utilized properly for that. The communication skill has to be developed a lot. So then only the people can even make their further communication with other people. Definitely your communication skill has to be developed. The next area you have to develop is your presentation skills. So definitely then you have to present it in a better manner. So that you have a lot of means and ways you have to use your all other ICT tools and other things, learn your various softwares. So in our college, as we are providing your value-added courses, so hardly some people are only utilizing it. So I request everybody should utilize the value-added course in a better manner that enhance your confidence. So you can use those knowledge for developing your products. So once your product have been identified, so that will be definitely open the doors of the companies for you, and it will put a red blanket for you for with the welcome note. With this, I conclude my session. Thanks a lot. You can ask any questions relevant to this. Thank you very much.
Students are requested to ask questions. Our next speaker will be joining in few minutes. So please make this session interactive by asking your doubts and all. We are going to invite our second speaker.
What is the problem in future engineer? It is not a problem with the future engineer, future requirements. So when I joined service, when I worked in various aircraft, the instrument were on normally it's all like a mechanical type instruments. Then we had an electrical instruments. Then we have made it digital. So now all the multifunctions. So that day-to-day requirement is changing. So if you are coping with the real whatever the changes. Yeah, I am coming next question also. So the changes really what is you are am I audible? I am getting. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what. So you have to be only always change with this requirement. So you have to change whatever the modern requirements. It is purely on the company requirements. So updating the knowledge definitely make it. So the future will be definitely there is. That's what everybody says. Without engineer, we cannot do anything in this world. Okay. So doctor is doing operations, but the instruments, medical instrument is made by engineer. So we are the same equivalent in saving the life also. Okay, so in any area, whatever the area, we are engineers. Without engineering, nothing can be done. So we have our own importance and everything. So, but are you making yourself to be an engineer? Only rather than an engineering graduate, you should become a real engineer. That's why we are making it. So that trend developments in whatever the subjects knowledge have to be followed. Definitely, you will follow everything. Okay. Sir, opportunity to aeronautical engineering. Yes. So opportunity in aeronautical engineering, it's fine. We all know it. Many times I used to tell to my students, this opportunity, how it will be there, means you have to know it, where you are going it, what is the role of you in that area. So if you are not knowing what is your job, where you are going, that's what I said, the goal setting. If you want to become a pilot, you should know it, what are all the ways and means. So you have to go through those processes. So for that processes, you have to select various guides or all the people, somebody you have to talk to them. So for that, again, you have to, yes, if you go for the Boeing training, you have to go for America for flying the aircraft. So you will be spending in and around 80 lakhs. So these are all you have to plan. Whenever you want to make your career development, you should know it. How you can do it without any expenditure-less development. So that has to be looked into. So various scholarship schemes, higher education, that has to be utilized. So definitely you can have jobs on all other things.
Vivek, sir?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
few of our students want to know how to get into IAF and what are the job opportunities for aeronautical engineer. Likewise, please.
Yes, somebody, Vigneshwaran has asked abroad, and I will make it combine some of the questions. Different aeronautical jobs in IAF. Okay, so different aeronautical jobs in IAF, Indian Air Force, when you see that you can go from the bottom, so you are having the aircraft technicians. Whenever I am talking about only the technical and engineering area. So other than that, you have an admin area also. So if you want, I can touch that also. Okay, no problem. I will give those information also. So in Air Force, in a military organization, definitely from the mechanical transport drivers, clerk GD, clerk pay accounts, general duties clerk. GD means general duty. So pay accounts. So like that, education instructors. Okay, ground training instructors, GTIs. So, like all other, apart from this one, so you are having the engineering officers. Okay, so chief engineering, and you will have your SATCO. SATCO means you are having the senior air traffic controlling officers. DATCO, duty air traffic control officer. So you have the air traffic controlling area, flying branches. You can fly various aircraft. So these are all you have to go this one. So the third year onwards, you are having your university entry scheme. You have to apply for that. You have to practice it. So the preliminary, after preliminary, you have to write main. Then you go for SSB. SSB, you have to train, you have to get a lot of trainings, then definitely you are through for those examinations. And when you go for the +2 level and all other things, you can go for the engineering area. Yeah, abroad, definitely a lot of people are working in abroad. So definitely you go for your higher studies in abroad, so that will automatically make yourself. So apart from that, a lot of aircraft supportive courses have been conducted in various flight schools in various countries. You go in that flight dispatcher courses and other things. Even I have recommended some of the students those who wanted to go for the flight dispatching. So that means they are planning the air travel positions and other things. So it is coming under the air traffic control. So apart from that, you'll have a lot of areas. So the missile area, rocket launching, DRDO. So the government areas are plenty. So you have to make yourself fit for those areas. That's what it is. So Purna Chandra, airport jobs. That's what. Definitely, I already for the Purna Chandra's questions. So it's better future. So you have to go additional courses, make it, and we can any support for that. I can give some of this one. So in person, or you ask your seminar organizer, I can give those information. They can tweet to you.
M. Janani wants to ask something.
Yeah, who?
Please. Janani M.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I'm Janani.
Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, I have a question. That is, almost half of the engineers today, they are pursuing jobs in software sites, sir.
Yes.
And not they are not doing their job related to core.
Yeah,
I'm coming from EC department, so
yes.
That's why I'm asking this, sir, because half of them are trying their jobs on software. So is it a good or bad thing, sir?
See, nowadays the things are made, Internet of Things, IoT, and a lot of things. People are not interested to do mechanical things. So the mechanical things, only actuators are doing it. So definitely the power lines have been hydraulically operated, and the mechanicals and other things have been electronically controlled. if you can, nowadays, autopilot, auto controls, car, you are seeing everything. So they want pilot less, human less, everything. So they do need not have any operator. So definitely electronic controls have been playing a vital role. So that's what that computer programmings and other things have been made very, very vital requirement for any engineer. So at the last class when they asked that on in the last webinar, they asked one questions, mechanical survival. So they said clearly they should have a programming knowledge with mechanical background. So they will be surviving.
Sir, but everyone can't have computer knowledge and programming knowledge in engineering side, because there are EEE students, mechanical students, even civil students. But they are not having computer background to pursue software job, and still they are having a job, and still they are pursuing jobless. Then 80% of engineers are still today jobless. What is the main problem, and why they are having these problems and criteria, even though they are
yeah, I got your question. Yes, the maximum number of outputs by the engineering college has the 10,000 colleges producing more than 50 lakhs of engineer every this one. So the company's preference is multiple talented people only, they are taking it. So it is not the jobless. They can go for that whatever their knowledge, but the payment will be less. So the survival, everybody is working somewhere else, but not in the exactly what they have been specialized. So that's what the recent scenario is, that everything become Internet of Things, electronically controlled. That's what made the people, core people, to get the less opportunities. So you have to make it, see, that's what whenever we are telling, yeah, anything?
Yes, sir. We are having our second speaker also. Thank you, Ms. M. Jalmi.
Yeah. Again, I thank Naga and Moiz Hussain, who have been created with Jawahar and all other students, whosoever behind this one. So I say my very thanks to everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.